Alright, what is up, guys? It's gonna be a little different video because today is a pretty special day. It is 2/22/22, and I've been waiting for this day for a really, really, really long time because I have an affinity for the number 2. It's my favorite number, and it's my gamer tag. So I wanted to kind of just throw out some random facts about me, but most of all, I wanted to talk about where my gamer tag came from and how long I've had it. So, probably around when I was 14, I want to say, which would have been like 2001. I want to say. Yeah, I'm in May. I'm gonna be 35 this year. So yeah, right around 2001. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about how I got the tag. Right around then, me and my friends Dylan and Jeff were hanging out all the time, and we were all real fledgling musicians. You know, Jeff played drums and bass and stuff. I played guitar, and my buddy Dylan was a vocalist. So we were really interested in starting a band that would never see even one band practice, by the way, because we had no motivation at that point. So my buddy Dylan's like, hey man, we should have stage names, you know? And it's really funny because at that time, well, no, wait, I think it was later. Yeah, at one time I had blonde hair. I dyed my hair blonde. I think I did that twice. I dyed my hair blonde, and when I got it cut, I ended up getting my natural hair color in between it. So I was like blonde and black or brown, dark brown, whatever you want to call it. And so it lended to this name even more. But he suggested two-tone. And I'm like, two-tone? What? Why two-tone? And he's like, well, you have a weird personality that's this way sometimes and then this way at certain moments. And, you know, you can turn on the drop of a hat. So you're kind of two-toned, you know? And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's kind of cool. And that's really all there is to it. That's where it started. And he started calling me two-tone all the time, and it stuck. And so from then on, every time I played a game, you know, my main character was two-tone. Every time, you know, when I went to fighting game tournaments and stuff, that was my tag, was two-tone. And it's been going on like this for ever. I can't remember, obviously, I can't remember what it was like before I was two-tone that much anymore. But yeah, that's how I got my tag, and it's stuck around, and my affinity for the number 2 just increased as time went on, because if anybody told me to pick a number between 1 and 10, it was always 2. You know, my best friend Jared, he'll ask me pick a number between 1 and 10, but or he'll come up with some weird convoluted way to get me to never be able to pick 2. And then playing, you know, hanging out with a few of my other buddies, Chuck, Sean, Nick, all those guys, we would play D&D, and whenever my D20, whenever it landed on 2, we called that a 20. We just made the actual 20 on the D20 a 2. So if I rolled a nat 20, it was actually a 2. And if I rolled a 2, we use that as my crit, right? So just continued, you know, playing Smash Brothers Melee. I played for quite some time competitively, and more often than not, for whatever reason, whether I won or lost a match, it would always end at 2 minutes and 22 seconds. It was hilarious how often it happened. So yeah, that's just a little bit about how I got the tag. There's a couple other things I wanted to mention. Just talking about other cool stuff like Fury Cat. Come here, buddy. Come here. Fury Cat is 6 years old. He is my boy. I love him so much. You guys see him all the time in videos. Fury is 6 now. He's an old man. Not really. But, yeah. I got him. I was very lonely. My girlfriend and I had just broken up. I think it'd been a year after we broke up, and she took both of the cats, Sergeant Pepper's and Sexy Sadie. Yes, they're Beatles references, of course. She took both the cats with her, and I didn't have a pet. So, all right, bye, Fury. So I went to the animal shelter, and it was actually him and his sister were there. It was around October. It was around Halloween. So what animal shelters do, I don't know if you noticed this, when they take in pets that don't have names, like strays and stuff, they name them based on, at least the one in my area, names them based on, holidays they're close to, or, the season they found them, right? So, it's really funny because, there's a game that if you hear me talk about it, I hate this game and love this game. I've never been able to beat it ever, and I can barely get to the end of the first level. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, right? Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I hate that game. But but anyway, I go to the animal shelters. I'm like, I need a friend, right? And there's two kitties. And, there was a bunch of kitties, but there were a couple brand new kitties they just brought in from the cold weather. And it was him and his sister. And his name was Ghoul, and her name was Goblin. Or her name was Ghoul, and his name was Goblin. That's what it was. So Fury's original name was Goblin. And I'm sitting in there, and they let you go in this little room and play with the kitties and see if you want to take one home. And his sister was crazy. She was running around just so excited to meet everybody and play with stuff. And I was having a real good time playing with her. I'm like, oh, you're such a sweetie. Blah, blah. And then I look over, and in the corner is this teeny little Fury cat. And he's just shaking and looking around. He's so just doesn't know where he is. He's really scared. And, everybody in that room was playing with his sister because she was just so energetic and stuff. And I said, who's that kitty over there? And the lady was like, oh, that's her brother. He's a little skittish. He hasn't really adjusted yet. He's really scared. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to go sit with him for a minute. And I sat down with him, and he was just sitting right next to me and just looking around and shaking. And I really slowly put my hand on his head and started scritching him, giving him scritches. And he was still just looking around. He didn't even notice my hand was on his head. He was just doing this. And then I went, what are you doing, buddy? And he went and looked right at me, and it was over. I'm like, I gotta take this little guy with me. And I brought him home, and the rest is history. He's crazy. Like the crazy sister, he basically became her after a while. And he was real teeny tiny. I'll put pictures up. He was super tiny. And now he's a big old butthole, and I love him. Right, Fury Cat? So, origin of Fury Cat right there. And he's been trolling my video game videos for a long time. If you go back far enough into the other channel I have, Braver Grave, you'll hear him just going wild while I'm trying to play. But, yeah, so that's the origin of Fury Cat. And as I mentioned, we wanted to be in a band. When I was talking about the two-tone tag, we wanted to be in a band. I currently am in a band that has been in hiatus since before COVID started, called Slogra, with my buddy Nick. Yes, the name is the reference you think. It's a Castlevania reference, for sure. We play some heavy metal and some, stoner rock, stuff like that. And we actually just started jamming again for the first time in forever. So that's cool. So yeah, I play guitar. I've played guitar since I was 13 years old. And I'm a writer, which some of you guys know that. I know some of you have actually gotten my books and stuff. But I've got them right here. Actually, I've published 2 books, written and published 2 books. This is the first one, Zero. Cool book. I really recommend it. That's the first one in the series. And then Behind the Brass Curtain, which is the newest one that just came out earlier last year. Yeah, first one's Zero. Second one is Behind the Brass Curtain. And there's way more of these to come. Because this is only 2 books and probably like a 7-book series. But, yeah, if you guys are interested in purchasing those and checking them out, I'll put links in the description because, that's truly my passion. I love video games. You guys have seen how passionate I am about video games. I love music. I play so much music, and I love it. Creating music is one of the greatest things that you can do as a human being. But I've put more time and effort than anything else into writing. Writing is my true passion. And so yeah, I've been writing ever since I learned how to read. I started writing and writing and writing and writing. So yeah, if you guys are interested, again, links in the description below. But yeah, so I just wanted to go through some of this stuff, just to kind of give you a little insight into who I am and the kind of life that I've led. I currently have 2 jobs outside of YouTube, which isn't really a job. It's just fun. I deliver pizzas, which I've done that for 10 years. It's very good money, trust me. A lot of people get begrudged for, taking a job like that or looked down upon, whatever. But, I've been doing it 10 years for a small chain, local chain. I've got a 401k. I get paid really well, and I make a lot of money in tips. And then 1 day a week I bartend. And obviously they're both tip related jobs, but I make the money I need, and it's great money. So those are my true jobs. And the reason that I've stuck with pizza for so long, I've done a lot of other jobs, done heavy labor jobs, warehouse stuff. I delivered for a secure document destruction and delivery service for 2 years in a pretty big city. I've dispatched taxis for 4 years. Pretty much every job that I've excelled at has involved transportation. I'm really, really, really good at the logistics of transportation and routing and things like that. And I'd always done it for somebody else, really, instead of myself. And then when I got into pizza, it was like, okay, now I'm routing my deliveries to maximize, efficiency and, a better chance of getting a decent tip, all that good stuff. And I'm like, quote unquote, the lead driver at the place I'm at because I've been there the longest, and I train all the new drivers and stuff like that. But yeah, regardless of that, that's what I do for a living. And the reason that I've done that job is because of the flexible hours and stuff. It gives me the time to do stuff like this and to work on my books and to play music. So I'm not the type that's gonna sell my soul to a soulless gray prison and work in a job that I hate forever just to get a ridiculous amount of money and miss out on the things I'm passionate about. But either way, like I said, today is 2/22/22. It's the 1 day a year that I am able to throw fireballs. I'm not going to do it because a gross display of power is beneath me. But just take my word for it, I can throw Hadokens and shit today. But thanks you guys for hanging out, listening to this video. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I'm like, I should do something for 2/22/22. I really should. So that's what I decided to do. I just wanted to throw some facts out there about me and, yeah, let you guys know about me a little bit more. So thanks you all for watching. I don't know if I'll do anything else today. I'm maybe thinking about doing something, but you'll know if it pops up. But yeah, again, thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time. Peace.